I'm Steve Knapp, president of the George Washington University, and I'm truly delighted to welcome you to the inaugural session of a very exciting new course here on our campus. It's called The World on a Plate: How Food Shapes Civilization. In the coming weeks, this course will explore the many dimensions of the science, culture, and history of food. It's one of the most exciting initiatives to have emerged from the work of the university's Urban Food Task Force, which was established in 2010, and I'm delighted to note is chaired by my wife, Diane Robinson Knapp, who's also here. The Urban Food Task Force is one expression of the university's broad engagement with issues of public health and sustainability. Its mission is to support multidisciplinary scholarship on food and food policies, local and global, and to promote healthy and sustainable food choices within the university community itself. I now have the honor of welcoming back to campus the person who both inspired and designed this course, José Andrés. Chef Andrés is an internationally renowned culinary innovator, the adventurous and highly successful chef and owner of Think Food Group, a celebrated television personality and author, and a visionary humanitarian. Chef Andrés has awakened American diners to the pleasures of highly innovative tapas-style food. His celebrated restaurants include The Bazaar in Beverly Hills and now also in Miami Beach, spelled E with an accent, in Las Vegas, as well as an extraordinary suite of dining concepts right here in Washington: Jaleo, Zaytinya, Oyamel, the former Cafe Atlantico, the former America Eats, and of course, Minibar. His newest restaurant, Mi Casa, just opened last month in Dorado Beach, Puerto Rico. Chef Andrés has received numerous awards. In 2011, he was named Outstanding Chef of the Year by the James Beard Foundation. In the year just ended, he was included by Time magazine in its annual list of the world's 100 most influential people. In 2010, he became the first chef to be awarded the Order of Arts and Letters Medallion by the government of Spain. A passionate advocate for ending hunger, José is chair emeritus of DC Central Kitchen. In November 2010, after traveling to Haiti in the aftermath of its devastating earthquake, he founded World Central Kitchen, whose mission is to feed and empower vulnerable people in humanitarian crises around the world. He later joined the Global Alliance for Clean Cook Stoves as its culinary ambassador. Finally, Chef Andrés has been a staunch supporter and friend of GW through his service as my special advisor on food issues and on the Urban Food Task Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming José Andrés.
Oof. Hola, how are you? I don't know you guys, but 2 hours ago I was in the dentist. And I was thinking about what excuse I had to cancel the entire class. So I'm watching CNN on the TV above me with the dentist performing his craft on my body. 10 minutes, entire CNN show on food waste and showcasing why, after a new study, it seems is a proof that 50% of the food Earth produces today goes to waste. After that moment, I thought, well, maybe we should do that course after all. So before we keep going, I want to introduce you here a person I couldn't be here without, because very much everything you're gonna see over the next weeks is thanks to her. Paula Cuello. Say hi, Paula.
Hi.
You can say hi back to her.
Hi.
Don't be shy, people, come on. I need to warm up here. Happens that Paula is a teacher at Murray School, one of the great schools here. Happens that she's the science teacher at Murray. What happens that she's one of my best friends, because only a friend can answer your call when she doesn't need to be involved in something like this. But more important or not, Paula has a PhD from a university, I think it's in England, called Oxford or something like that, on molecular biology. Only. And the reason I'm so happy she's here with me, because sometimes I don't know anything about anything. I just talk to my friends, and they kind of translate what I'm trying to say. And that's how I learn English in life. So the husband, Richard Wolff, who probably you see him on MSNBC, used to be the White House correspondent for Financial Times, used to be the White House correspondent for Newsweek. Besides following the president, he's written my 2 cookbooks. So that's why the Wolf and the Coelho family are so close to me, because again, I rely on good friends to move forward. So Paula, you're gonna be more than just my friend. You're gonna be, what's the name of your title?
Course manager.
Course manager. You're managing the entire course. And we've been working the last few weeks putting this together. I really need to thank President Knapp. Thank you very much for giving not me this opportunity, but the food world this opportunity to address issues, hopefully, to the future of America, which is the students you have. But especially Diane, thank you very much, because I know you and I, you invite me to your home, we began talking about food. I told you, man, what you're doing is great with the urban task force, but we need to dream even bigger. And you said, let's dream bigger. I know the president of the university. I'm like, you do? So thank you very much. I have to thank really Mr. Chioffi, Dennis, thank you very much for making this happen and putting all your amazing staff working with us. Camille, are you here? The other course manager working with Paula, thank you very much for all you've done, Camille. Thank you very much. And Sam, where are you? Sam, you've been also very helpful on all of that. Sam, we'll see more of you, Mr. Sam Chappell. Thank you very much. So now that I said that, let me start. We're gonna do a very quick overview of the next 12 weeks. Today, we're trying only to do an example. And I'm gonna be asking you for something here. I don't know if next year, this course is gonna call George Washington home. I may be fired, the course may be fired, but I'm already looking 10 years from now. And I'm looking 10 years from now because we are in an important moment. The Farm Bill is being negotiated right now in Congress. And America doesn't know a clue what the Farm Bill is in the first place. So how can we let Congress negotiate something that America doesn't understand? We need to start translating this. Or the news on CNN today, 50% of the food we produce is going to waste, but there is hunger in Africa, right? So there is all these problems and those issues. I hope you're gonna help me to go through the next 12 weeks, seeing how every single problem can be an opportunity to change our city, our state, our country, and why not the entire world. And here I hope that you're not gonna be just passive people, just taking notes, because you have to get 1.5 credits. Sorry, it's only 1.5. Hopefully next year it'll be 3. I'm gonna fight for it. But here you are gonna have to become really soldiers of this amazing food movement that is trying to make sure that food is the solution and not the problem of every single issue we face. So here I come in a humble way to you. The only reason I'm here is because I believe we need this. And I believe we need this near Congress and near the White House and near the Senate. And here we need people like you that in 10 or 20 years will become the next congressman, the next senator. Maybe not. Why not the next lobbyist? Because every time we talk about the lobbyist, seems the lobbyist is the only one taking care of the big companies that seems they are the Darth Vader of food. And even Darth Vader was a good guy, remember? So we need even to try to bring the good out of the bad and try to change everything. So you may be the next president of the United States. And you may be the ones that are gonna be creating the laws and the changes that we need in the food system 30 years from now to make sure that food, again, is not part of the problem. This is the reason I'm taking this course, because I'm kind of teaching it, but I'm not teaching it. I'm learning in the process. And you're gonna be helping me be better in the process of going through this. We're talking about food, but I hope we're gonna all learn. In my profession, I came 14 years. I began studying I began working when I was 14, 15 years. I came to America when I was 21, $50 in the pocket. I left the school very young. I hope one day I'll graduate. No, I mean it seriously. But what I'm trying to tell you is that doesn't matter what you are going to be in life. Doesn't matter what you are going to study. I'm going to show you that if a cook like me can dream of becoming many different things at once, I only want you to dream that whatever you want to be in life, the profession you decide, if you think hard, can have synergies with every single thing you dream in life. And through food, we're going to see that food is actually everything we see, and everything around us can be related to food, from energy to health to creativity to war. And understanding these amazing synergies is how it's going to hopefully make whatever you do more powerful by thinking out of the box and being away from your comfort zone.
A big chunk of this course is the final project, which is 50% of the grade. You are going to come up with a plan of action, just like Jose was saying, something that you can affect change through food. And you'll form a group of 5 to do this. You can sign up on Blackboard right now to form your groups of 5. And you will document your project in a video, and those videos are going to be assessed and maybe judged by external judges. The rest of your assignments are going to be a portfolio and some quizzes. So 40% of the assignments are this portfolio. So you have 4 assignments that you're going to do 10% each, and the first one is compulsory, so it's the assignment from this class, and we'll go through it in a little while. And then you'll have a choice of 3 others from the remaining 11 classes, and we'll go through them as we go through the course. There are limited numbers of people who can sign up for each assignment, so if you're really interested in one, make sure to sign up soon on Blackboard. In fact, you have to sign up before the next class for all the assignments. And then you'll have weekly quizzes. You will have required readings and videos that you'll have to do in preparation for each class. The quizzes will be on Blackboard and they will close at 12 the day of the class. So that same group of 5 that you're going to form your action plan with, you are going to meet up before the next class, and you're going to have a new experience to do with food. You can, do you want to talk about it? Or do you want to
You can go to a new neighborhood, the ones that you don't go because you heard there was a shooting. I've been there. Those are the good ones. I met my wife in Annes Morgan, but actually I guess it was 21, I was 23. I don't go to Annes Morgan anymore, and I don't know why, because it's the coolest neighborhood in all Washington, D.C. Who's been to Annes Morgan? Hey, you're cool. So, a new cuisine, a new restaurant. I want you to go to an Ethiopian restaurant and experience an Ethiopian restaurant. Go away from your comfort zone. If you never had a burger before, go to McDonald's. Believe me, it's a trip. But think beyond restaurants. Maybe you don't have money to go to a restaurant. Use creativity. Get your money, go to a supermarket, or go to a farmer's market and go home and cook at home with your friends. Or maybe you go to a soup kitchen, like this is Central Kitchen, and you experience the entire morning, and you're going to sit with people that they are away from your comfort zone. Because maybe you're going to be with people you've never been before. Actually, we don't know people that are poor. I don't know people that are hungry. Why? Because if I knew people, I'm a very bad person by not feeding them. So we don't know them. So do an effort to make sure that food is a reason why you're going to move away from your comfort zone. And do an assignment. Write the block entry on the class block side. Piece of cake.
Well, you'll have to do some research as well associated with it.
Is that good? So food as an industry. Who knows this man over here, Danny Meyer? Great, only a few of you. Awesome. Because Danny Meyer is actually a guy that you can understand when he speaks English. He's an amazing speaker. He's created one of the most amazing restaurant groups in New York. But at the same time, right now, he's opening a chain of burger places around the world. So he's a great guy to tell us how he can be a small businessman, but at the same time thinking global today. And this is great because hopefully many of you will go to work into the restaurant business. Why? Because we need you. And a guy like him is going to give you reasons of why you should be joining this industry. His book, The Power of Hospitality in Business, is really a powerful one, the transforming power of hospitality in business. So we'll have him here, and I think hopefully he'll give you a gift certificate to go to his expensive restaurants in New York. He usually does that, so just ask him for it. So guys, use very quick data, things we will go see. I mean, I don't know if you know, but the US alone employs 30 million people. It's one of the largest employers in America. Take a look at the global hospitality. It generates 3.5 trillion annually. More than 10% of the workforce works in my business. We're a powerful entity, people. And you know, the restaurant industry job growth has outpaced the national growth of any other business for 13 consecutive years. When I say it's the food hospitality industry, because at the end, everything is one. You may go to a hotel to sleep, but people, you have to eat. And I tell you, I run now 3-4 hotels. So take a look at this. Hospitality and tourism generates 9% of the global GDP. That's huge numbers. Or 8% of the world employment. Probably we will see, are we paying the people that work in the restaurants the right amount so they can have a living in the process of us enjoying the food we enjoy? Those hopefully will be questions that we'll be able to answer as the course program moves forward. Campbell soup. Just take a look, the food industry as a whole. All the processed foods that we enjoy. The processed foods is huge because that means that you can eat anything you want, even on Mount Everest. Think about it, you can bring a can with you. But at the same time, the food industry seems that is full of those possibilities, but it's full of many of those issues. How in the process of feeding we are contaminating and damaging our environment, and et cetera, et cetera. But only to show you that the food industry, it's in areas we don't even think. Or take a look at this photo. I mean, you can take a look at this photo and say, wow, how beautiful is the fall. I love the fall. The apples in the floor, the smell of the countryside. This is a way to see this photo. Other way to see this photo is, again, the hospitality food industry is a powerful industry, and we pay X and Y for food. But if we come up with systems where waste will be something of the past, that means that or food will be cheaper, or that food will be something like other people could afford. So that photo is a reading. You can do hundreds of readings going through it. For the class number 2, we have an assignment, right, Paula?
We do, and that's to come up with a business plan. So it should be a minimum of 3 pages. We want it to be quite detailed. And you're going to come up with a business plan for a company which is related to food. And these are just some ideas. Feel free to come up with any others. But possibilities would be a restaurant, or something to do with catering, a food store, kitchen equipment, composting, right? What do we do with the food afterwards? Farm, vegetables, or even a fish farm. A PR agency which promotes food
PR
products.
agencies are the perfect. They can sell anything. Anything.
Or an NGO which will affect change through food. So, or any other ideas that you come up with.
So it's, again, understanding that the food hospitality industry is a powerful one, and that there you have huge opportunities. You can have one food truck that you work with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and you are going to be happy campers and go around the world feeding people and making a living. Or you can dream of a company that is going to take over food production in the world. Anything in between, that can be a great business plan. And I'm very happy with the business plan because actually I met my wife because she didn't care about me, or my body, or my dancing skills of salsa, but she was at Maryland University. Sorry, President. She was at Maryland University, and she had to do a paper about a business plan of a catering company. And she came to me, and I thought, great. But she only wanted my catering company skills, which actually they were not very good. But that's why I met her, and that's why I got married with her. So good luck. The craft of cooking. Actually, this is a class hopefully I'm going to be able to give. And here we're going to be talking what the craft of cooking is. Who knows Escoffier? Great, only 5 of you. You don't know Escoffier? Who knows barbecues? Man, hey, we need to keep doing this class over the years to come. So you don't know Escoffier or barbecues? Who knows Paul Prudhomme? More people, probably from the South. So wow, so those are names that you're gonna see. Jose, I don't care, I want a career in politics. I don't care about chefs. Well, yes and no. You should care about them because it's some of them that they've been unbelievably important in the way we eat today and in the way we cook today. And even if you don't care about them, yes, it's important to know what their achievements were or why they were important for making French cooking total world domination. Think about it. Or why Chinese is going to be the new superpower to be. I mean, we call him Gollum, right? Because the noises he made, right? So in the craft of cooking, we're going to only try to have a good 1-hour conversation about videos and cooking. But take a look at this. Now how we went from hundreds of thousands of years ago where we will eat whatever we got, a piece of trout out of the river like the Gollum did. And think for a second that the Gollum is this perfect example of food, right? Is the food we love, like the Gollum with the ring? Is sometimes the food we hate because we get obese and we overeat. The food we crave for is like, wow, that's my mother's recipe, the meatloaf, I love it. It brings good memories. At the same time, it's like, I don't want to eat your meatloaf, I don't want to be close to you, you're making me fat. The Gollum was a food person. This is the living example. You think about it. And fire. The biggest lesson I learned when I was young was my father got upset with me because I wanted to cook a paella. Everyone knows what a paella is? Yes. Come on, people, you're in Washington. We created paella in America. And I got upset because he didn't let me cook. My father would send me to the forest to pick up wood and make the fire and tend the fire. Okay, what happened? I got upset, he threw me up into the woods. A very Spanish thing to do. Go to the woods, get lost. We'll talk later. When all the guests were gone, my father gets me on the side and tells me, you know, my son, I'm so upset that I was not able to explain to you why I put you in charge of the fire. I was probably 9 or 10. I put you in charge of the fire because this was the most difficult task. If you learn how to control the fire, you one day will become a good cook. That was food for thought for me. I thought that the cooking was just getting the spoon and put the spoon in the pot. But no, the cooking begins way before. Controlling the fire is the most amazing craft that we all should learn. And then how we went from the Gollum to this. This is what we are as humans. Who knows Brillat Savarin? Brillat Savarin? Brillat Savarin, 1826, a French food philosopher, the physiology of taste, is the man that said, tell me what you eat and I will tell you who you are. You want to be this? Or you want to be that? That's up to everybody. But understanding the way we cook and the way we eat and the way we feed others is going to say a lot about who we are. And it's a new way of democracy. Tell me what you're going to be serving, and I'm going to tell you how we're going to be influencing the politics of tomorrow by knowing that people want this food over this other food. So you want to see a recipe? Come on, tell me yes. Yes. Don't tell me you're bored already. So this is cheese. Who likes cheese? Who knows how to buy cheese and serve cheese at home? Everybody, I hope. Yeah, it's a simple question. It's as stupid of a question as the question I use. And who likes this? So you like this, and you like that. Okay, you know what my mother does when she has guests at home? She puts the cheese on the table, And she puts the almonds on the table and some bread. That's it. That's the dish. And everyone is like, wow, you're such a good cook. So it's a food critic that if I don't do this, he tells me, oh, man, you are trying to do something different. So that's great. I have to do the same dish that my mother knows how to do. I'm a professional chef, but if I move away from this, I'm something strange. Let's put the video. We get the almonds and we fry the almonds. Who knows how to fry an almond? Well, now you know. Hot oil and we toast them until they caramelize, the Maillard reaction. We take the oil out, we add water. Man, everybody can do this. Are you able to see? And then we blend them with something called a blender. And we make a puree and we put them in this canister. And then we use a machine called Pacojet. We are able to make sorbets by the second. One sorbet at a time. And we make a very nice puree, like if we were doing peanut butter. But this is with almonds. Now we add cream. So far you're saying, I can do this? Yeah, no, you can, right? Okay. Here we get liquid nitrogen. Hey people, nitrogen is everywhere around us, okay? And we get the ladle, and we put the ladle in the liquid nitrogen. And the liquid nitrogen is minus 270 levels. I'm messed up between Celsius and fire. So it's so cold that now we're able to introduce the ladle, and a very thin film of the almond cream is going to attach to the ladle. We put it again to put again more coldness, and the cup of almond is going to separate from the ladle. We already changed the almond. Why? Because the almond tells me, Jose, I want to change. I'm tired of being the almond I am all my life. Here you go, baby. And you see what happens if we let it 5 seconds. It melts. Now we are going to make something called a espuma. We mix it with the milk, with the cheese, and we put it in this canister, Starbucks all over the place. We put nitro oxide, which is an air, and we are able to make a mousse. Ladies and gentlemen, cheese with almonds. Okay, do you like it? So for the class we're going to be learning some of those. This is assignment number 3.
Your assignment will be to select a cooking technique, and it might be something that you're familiar with or something that you're not familiar with, and you will create a 5 to 10 video segment as a cooking show.
It's so funny because my accent is so thick that these run out of batteries so quickly. No, I mean it, I know it. Okay, so are you able to do this? I mean, guys, this is the moment to be a Food Network. Okay, hold on. I know I am in a political university. Who knows the Food Network? All right. Great. Oof, I was scared. So we're going to have to do a video and pick up a technique. And the technique can be how to use the microwave beyond boiling water. No, don't joke about it. We have the microwaves in every home, and everyone uses it for water. Or I hope will not happen to you at a friend of mine at Hunter College, back in time when I was in New York, when I was 21, 22, that he calls me and says, Jose, I've been doing what you told me to do, and an hour later they're gone, they're dark, they're burned. What I told him was to make a pasta with bacon and oil and garlic and an egg at the end, a carbonara. I forgot to tell him boil the pasta. So you said to him, put it on the oil, you saute a little bit and then serve. So this is how obvious things may be to some of you, but things are normal if you know them. If you've never ever seen anybody boiling a spaghetti, you would never think that this is what you have to do. So I told my friend, you saute it, and he believed in me so much, and me in him, that I just forgot to tell him, boil the pasta. So this is what we're gonna hopefully see through that. So the cooking video, everyone is game for that? You're gonna be doing the super video. The next Food Network star is coming from here. The science of food. So we're gonna have two great guest speakers, Harold McGee, a good friend. He's the, who knows Harold McGee before today? Great, so much to learn. And Harold McGee has written the most amazing book on science. Actually, a book on the science that anybody can understand. And he's becoming this person that he's been able to translate very complicated scientific physics into plain language for normal people like me and others. And we're going to have Michael Brenner, who is a great professor at the physics department at the applied sciences at Harvard. I'm only telling you this because 4 years ago we began teaching at Harvard, a group of chefs. And I've been teaching the last 3-4 years. But we were not trying to be professors. We were only chefs, teaching next to the professor. And what we try to do is to make sure that both ends will meet, instead of one being over here and the other one being over there. Are you with me? So here, we will try just to understand the history, the timeline of science and food. Who knows this man? Great. Who has a can of food in their dorm or at home? Great. You can thank this man for the can of food you have. He invented canning. And he invented canning because Napoleon Bonaparte was looking for a way to feed the troops. He was giving 10,000 gold francs. 21 will come up with that system. 1800. 1809, this man came up with this study. He didn't have a clue of the why, but he knew that if he put food into a glass jar and sealed the jar with wax, no, it was not with wax, he did it with cork, and he would put it on a pressure kind of cooker covered with water, after food will not spoil. Many years later, people find out what food will spoil. But this is the man we own the canning as we understand canning today. That in Spain, for example, is you can pay $50 for a can. In other civilizations, in other cultures, cans are seen like second-degree food. On my yard, this man who likes boiled chicken. Don't worry, I will not tell anybody. Who likes roasted chicken? Okay, this is the man that explained to all of us why the Maillard reaction, which is this caramelization of sugars of proteins in the meat, in the fish. Thanks to him, we knew why grilling something or giving color to something with high heat will multiply by 10 the flavor perception. And that's why we are so attached to everything that is kind of roasted or grilled or toasted versus boiled. Even me, I'm a big fan of boiled soups. Or this woman, I showed you the technique before, right? This is the first person that documented cooking and making ice cream, and maybe breaking a finger or two by leaving the finger too long in the liquid nitrogen. Using liquid nitrogen to make ice creams. So this is the assignment for the science of food. Paula?
Yes, so you're going to have to pick a recipe or a cooking technique and explain the science behind it. And that will entail doing some research and writing up your findings in an essay. You do not need to be a scientist to do this. This is a good way of challenging yourself and finding out about the science. There's a lot of work out there that is explained in a way that anyone can understand. So I encourage you, even if you're not a scientist, to try this.
So the food supply chain. We have also two great speakers, a faculty member, James Foster, and a guest speaker, Warren Velasco, that comes from the University of Maryland, the Baltimore campus. And Mr. Velasco has written this amazing book, Food, the Key Concepts. But really he brings very important issues to what we eat, how the food chain works in ways that we don't even imagine. But I'm going to show you an example of the food chain. Who likes tuna? We all like tuna. Are we doing right eating tuna? If no one is watching, we're doing great. But if we see what has happened last week, that they are releasing studies that the Pacific bluefin tuna, it's disappearing at a quicker rate than we ever thought, means that if one day tunas are gone, they're going to be gone. So now every time we go to a Spanish restaurant, that the chef wants to be cool and offers this very nice catch, or to a Japanese restaurant, it's okay, we do it, but it's going to have consequences. I'm going to put you a video when I went to the south of Spain to catch tunas in a town called Zara de los Atunes, Zara of the Tunas, where for centuries, people, they've been catching the tunas, not following them with the ships, but waiting for them in front of the village as they come into the Mediterranean from the open Atlantic Sea. And I'm going to share that moment with you so we keep going. Hi. Hi. My name is José Andrés. I came to Haiti 3 years ago, right after the earthquake. I fall in love with this country.
We'll be stronger, they're calling freedom, just like a waving flag.
It's a fascinating country with very unique people, great history, amazing food. I want to show you Haiti under a new window. Life is good in Haiti. Are you ready to join me? Let's go! What is important just to realize is that the food system, the food supply chain as we have it today, from now on, everything we eat is going to have consequences of tomorrow. And it's fine not to think about it. But I think it's so much more fun when we think about it. And still we can be supporting and do good in the process. This is going to be one of the most amazing forms of democracy in the 21st century. We will not vote when we put our envelope. We can vote every time we order something. And this is an amazing power that the people of America and the people of the world has. I love tunas again, but now when I see the consequences, I think twice before. And I make sure that they come from sustainable farms or approved by the different organizations. So this was the beach where in Zara de los Atunes, they catch the tunas right in front this beach. And I'm showing you a doctor because we're talking about the food supply chain. I went to the doctor upon my return from vacation. That's where I go on vacation. I eat a lot of tuna. Even I will tell you, I eat the tuna that those fishermen catch, nothing else. I had high levels of mercury. But high levels. I understand now when I go through the airport security, I beep. I'm like, people, come on. But this is the perfect example I can share with you on how the entire planet is united in ways we don't even think. To me, I read about it, but I cannot believe that the doctor told me, Jose, we have a problem. So to me to think that, well, that's not the same mercury, but now I'm free of mercury. My body gave up all the mercury, and now I'm clean again. But it's only the food for thought. We can have communities. We need to be thinking that these communities that live around that, if we stop using the tuna and eating the tuna that those fishermen in the south of Spain or in other parts around the world, what's going to be the livelihood of those fishermen? what are they going to do? Be out of a job? We're going to start having revolts in the streets because we took away their livelihood? So wow, the solution is not easy, right? We know that it's not good to be eating the tuna, but at the same time, we are going to leave thousands of families without jobs if we tell everybody stop catching the tuna. So what are the right solutions? Who has the magic wand that can make everyone happy? I hope people out of this room will come with those solutions. I hope sooner rather than later. So one day we don't have an ocean that will be beautiful, but will be with nothing underneath. I'm very pragmatic. I'm not here a romantic chef like, oh, everything has to be seasonal, everything has to be natural. Oh, what the heck? I love a hot dog in the middle of the street once in a while. But also we need to be pragmatic. So this is the action plan for assignment number 5. Paula?
Right, so we have to, we want you to think about how your food choices impact you, the environment, other people, the world around you, and design a support system to help people make ethical choices with regard to food. Again, I can't stress this enough. There are more details on Blackboard. I highly encourage you to read through all the details.
So, 6, food and the government. We're in the right university for this. We're going to have George Washington faculty, John Bansaf, who he's been amazing helping us, not only with this class, but with the entire course. And Alice comes, who is going to be a guest speaker, she's the curator at the National Archives, and where I worked with her for a year because the National Archives did an exhibition called What's Cooking, Uncle Sam? And was about the influence of the government in the way America eats. And you're going to think, the government has an influence in my diet? Sure, it does. The Farm Bill is, if anything, what dictates what America is eating today. And hopefully we'll go through those decisions made by the government that is somehow it has an impact in what we are eating. Subsidies. Subsidies are a huge one. Actually, the subsidies are given to 5 big crops. One of them, corn. If you think about it, a burger in a fast food company, everything is made out of corn. The sugar that comes from the corn makes the soda. With the corn, you're able to feed the animals. That makes the burger. With corn oils and sometimes even corn flours, you can make the buns, the bread. With the sugar, you make the ketchup. With the leftovers of everything, you make the boxes that they sell you the burger. And you're going to say, Jose, that's brilliant. You're right, it's brilliant. I want to know how to do the same. So I have no problem with the fast food industry being so good in feeding people with one crop. But the issue here is this, people. The restaurants that maybe you like to go, and the restaurants I like to go, they don't receive the same help from government through subsidies. So the only thing we should be saying is subsidies for everybody or subsidies for nobody. But what cannot be is that some benefit out of a system that to a degree is unfair. Food for thought. At the same time, I'm going to be challenging you not to believe anything anybody here is going to be telling you over the next 3 months. You, if any case, always should have the completely opposite thought. That's the real way you're going to be learning. So if I'm telling you big fast food companies are bad for you, you should actually second guess me or anybody that will tell you that. Because actually, I hope nobody from the fast food industry is here. They do so many things better than I do. Because I am a very cool chef, I receive 30 shipments every day in every one of my restaurants. 30! Because I'm a cool chef. And I buy from 30 different farmers. 30 different trucks every day of the week. A fast food restaurant receives 1 or 2 shipments a week. Actually, I could argue with you that they are a lot better into the CO2 that goes into the environment because food distribution. I could do the other argument against. The way they produce the foods also adds a lot of CO2. But I'm only trying to tell you that everything has two sides to the coin. And what we need to discover is actually we throw the coin, how to make sure that the coin stays right in the middle without going right or left. That will be the perfect place. But that's difficult. It never happens that the coin stays kind of high up. But this will be the perfect moment. Nicholas Meyer, 2,500 seeds, fruits, and vegetables he's responsible for that came from overseas to America. He began working for the American government, if I'm not wrong, 1905. He was from Amsterdam. And actually, this should be a movie. He died in the year 1918 near Shanghai, coming back to the States with new seeds. But no one knows how he died. China in that moment was kind of a lot of things happening, and he disappeared. But thanks to him, who knows the Meyer lemons? I bought the other day 6 in his honor. So the Meyer lemons were named after him. So the government has a positive influence. Thanks to a guy like him and many others, America received a lot of seeds and a lot of vegetables and a lot of fruits and a lot of citrus that today America is one of the biggest producers in the world. The National School Lunch Program, 1946. We owe this to the military because everyone going to World War II from rural America was so unfitted. They were so hungry, some of the young men trying to enlist in the USA Army going to the war, that the Pentagon saw that this was a big issue. That's why the school lunch program was created. Today, 60, 70 years later, mission readiness. This is a great, amazing follow-up of the story of the school lunch program. Mission readiness, today we have generals and admirals also telling us the same. Before it's because people didn't have enough food. Now it's because we have too much food. Now they're saying we need to invest money in feeding young people better. Wow, amazing. This is government intervention. And again, not all the time is for a bad cause or bad reason. The Farm Bill, we can be talking hours about it. Or the tomato. Did everybody remember the controversy on the tomato on 2/11? That they were trying to pass a law that the Obama administration was trying to tell Congress, you know one thing? Actually, pizza has tomato paste. And tomato paste, it counts as a vegetable. 1/8 of tomato paste in a pizza counts as half a cup of vegetables. And the Obama administration was trying to say, okay, if you believe tomato paste on pizza is a vegetable, we agree with you, but only make sure that 1/8 of tomato paste equals 1/8 of vegetables. So Congress kind of stopped that. And today, 1/8 of tomato paste equals half cup. 1/8 of a cup of tomato paste equals half a cup of vegetables. This is insane. This is nuts. This is not America enough. Why? Because that's lobbies working from the cheese lobby and from the tomato paste lobby, and I guess the pizza lobby. So this is kind of the things that are insane in our food system sometimes. And we only need to understand the why. So these vegetables shouldn't equal these vegetables. So because at George Washington, politics is not a spectator sport, and we mean it. We're going to make sure, Paula, that we do something here important.
Yes, we want you to come up with an action plan to deal with an issue related to food, and to write up your plan as a proposal and actually send your proposal to a local government official, representative of some kind. So that's going to be, we want you to be active in politics through food.
The history of food. We're going to have George Washington faculty, Carolyn Smith, who she's going to do an amazing timeline of food to understand when things began, when coffee, when sugar, when fire. We need to understand things in a historical timeline concept. We need to understand when things began. And we're going to have Christopher Kimball. Who knows Christopher Kimball? Great. Believe me, when I do a recipe that works, usually it's because I copy it from him. He's an amazing speaker, and he's an expert on Fanny Farmer, an expert on the Victorian table in Massachusetts. He has an amazing show, a special that he did for PBS, that hopefully they'll watch it. So we're going to have two good people. But in history, we're going to understand. Fire began 1.8 million years ago, it seems. But really, we didn't begin knowing how to master the fire until 50,000 to 100,000 years ago. We're going to be talking about coffee. When coffee began. Anybody knows where coffee is from? Besides Starbucks? Yeah, you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm very nervous.
Me too, believe me. You know why I keep talking? Because if I stop, I cry.
First, es un sueño conocerlo.
Hola.
Hola. Second, it's from South America.
That's good. That's a good guess.
Yeah.
South America. Any other guesses?
From Kazakhstan, isn't it?
Kazakhstan. That's another good guess.
Didn't it start in Africa?
What part of Africa is a very big city?
Yeah.
Okay, Africa. I take it. It's good. One day I had somebody say Earth. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. Kenya. That's a good guess too.
Indonesia?
Indonesia. Great guess. I love it.
Arabian Peninsula?
Arabian Peninsula. We're getting closer. People of America. People of US Washington. Ethiopia. Hit the jackpot. I'll give certificate. I'm kidding. I don't believe in subsidies, people. So guys, what we saw is great, and I love that you are honest, because I think it was Winston Churchill that said success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. So to be wrong is the first step to go. When I thought about coffee first, I came up with every single country, but the country it came from. And Ethiopia will be the place. And you are like, what? In Ethiopia? I cannot believe this. So we'll be talking about who was the first person, a goat herder, you call it? A goat herder, right? Goat herder?
Yeah.
A guy that takes care of goats, come on.
Yeah.
That in the 9th century, it seems he found those beans that his goats were eating. And their goats were like very hype and jumping in the air. And he was like, wow, that's cool. He ate some, and he was also like, wow, I don't need to sleep anymore. And he took it to a near mosque, and he gave it to the guy there, to the holy man there. And the guy threw them to the fire because he said, that's I cannot allow this. And then in the fire, they got toasted. And they got, and that's one of the theories, that's one of the stories. So there's many stories around coffee, but it will be amazing to understand how coffee, become one of those grains that was part of the colonization, how it starts moving into Indonesia, into Asia, then into South America, into the Caribbean. Amazing, no? But understanding that today the bigger producers of coffee are those countries where coffee is not original from. That's to me fascinating itself, and to understand the travel of coffee. Or sugarcane. Sugarcane, today, sugars used to be made out of sugarcane, but now sweet potato plays a role. The sweet potatoes actually were thanks to Napoleon Bonaparte, because the British had kind of control of the West Indies. Sugarcane was not available to many European countries, in this case France. And Napoleon Bonaparte was the one that subsidized the research to come up with sugar that will come from a different plant. Sugarcane was invented through the sweet potato, in this case thanks to Napoleon Bonaparte. Or the tomato. I mean, where the tomato comes from? Mexico. That's the first and a quick one. But sometimes I have people that tell me, I don't know, from my garden. It's important to understand, because tomato even today coming from Mexico. If you see the uses of tomato in Mexico, in Spain, or in Asia, it's completely different. Now, how a seed could travel around the world and becoming different things in different parts. Many people will tell you it's Italian. Who cannot? Pomodoro. Everyone will think it's Italian. But to understand that it came from Mexico at one point in time. Oh, we're going to be talking about history, right? It's not only about ingredients, but it's about things that change humanity. Who knows this man? To me, one of the most fascinating things this man ever did was to see how he was able to, through peaceful ways, to really make a difference. And he has everything to do with food. Because one of his biggest protests or ways of protesting the English oppression of India was through the tax, the salt tax. The British were charging every Indian for the tax for the salt they consume. And Gandhi thought that this was wrong. But Gandhi was brilliant because he saw that salt was actually something he can make every Indian gather behind. So what he did was a march, what they call the March to Dundee, a little fishing village. And there he made salt. He began teaching people how to make salt by evaporating water. And this way he was complaining against the British Empire. I mean, no one wants to pay taxes to the British. Think about it. Boston Tea Party, I mean, give me a break, poor British. But this is part of the history. And understanding these moments, how the power of food was able to change history is huge. Because many, many, many years later, independence was achieved. And many people credit this march to Dundee as one of the most amazing, peaceful ways of achieving this. I'm not going to get into the gin and tonic in case it's some underage. But we'll talk about that later. So, I mean, also a lot to do with India and a lot to do with the British and the way of how quinine being drunk with gin to bring down the bitterness of the quinine that was used to fight different sickness, right? How today it has become, well, my favorite drink in the whole world, and understanding how one thing will go to the other. So assignment number 7, recipe comparison.
Right, so picking 2 recipes from different places and compare and contrast them, or different time periods. And we want you to, in an essay, discuss what those essays reveal about the time or the place that they come from. And also pick one of the ingredients and do a timeline of that ingredient. So you really get that understanding of how, coffee came from, where it came from, or the whole timeline. We want you to do that kind of thing. So that's going to be an essay. Jose?
So the recipe comparison, right?
Yeah.
For me, very important, the timeline.
Yeah.
I want you to become the ingredient. I mean it. To become the ingredient is really to understand what the ingredient had to go through its lifetime. What the potato had to, what hardships the poor potato had to become to be what she become today. And understanding its meaning, how it changed over years, how it become very important crops for some societies. Historical white parmentier potato. White parmentier is a French traditional kind of soup. It's called parmentier. Anything that has to do with ingredient or anything that has to do with the dish. But you have to become that ingredient. You have to become that dish. And if you do what I'm telling you, you're going to be fascinated. You have to, believe me, when I get a copy, a first edition of the Virginia Housewife by a woman called Mary Randolph, a relative to Thomas Jefferson. The Virginia Housewife, the most important American cookbook, because it was the first written by an American and the first published in America. Everything else before were copies of English books. So I'm a Spanish immigrant in America, try to belong. So I'm like, if I learn the Virginia Housewife, maybe they will take me as a serious American. I go through the book, boom, gazpacho recipe. I am serving a meal to the Ye, to the wives of the Ye, and I put gazpacho. And one of the wives, I cannot tell you whom, raises her hand, bah, fire into my heart. Gazpacho is not very American. She was satirical at best. And me, I was like, wow, the perfect question for the perfect answer. Funny, in early 1800s, gazpacho was an important recipe in the most important early American cookbook. Those moments are important to understand. And that's what I need you to do. I need you to give life to those ingredients, to bring back to life their history. And you're gonna learn things that you don't even imagine. Food and public health. Wow. This is the one we're gonna move quickly. We have George Washington faculty, Colin Ramos, and a guest speaker, Philip Derfler from USDA. And there we're gonna be seeing really how the government has really protected us from harm. Even today, you will see that people die because peanut butter salmonella. Salmonella in the peanut butter. Why? But very often you don't hear anybody dying from hot dogs. Why? Because if you think about it, those carts in the middle of Fifth Avenue, to me, is the unhealthiest thing in the history of mankind. I eat them, huh? but why? What's happening? You can leave a hot dog in the street for a month and nothing happens to the hot dog. And you eat it and you are still okay. This is the amazing thing that the superpowers of humans are able to do. We're able to transform foods in ways that don't make anybody sick at times. But we are our worst enemy. And we are going to see why some countries allow non-pasteurized cheeses, like France. Or I grew up with eggs that they were outside the refrigerator, and nothing happened to me. And today, anyone will freak out if you leave an egg 1 hour outside the refrigerator. My mother had the eggs for a week at a time. I never had salmonella, or maybe I become a big salmonella on my own. But it's not in between. Who knows about Upton Sinclair? Wow, now we are talking same language here. It's so funny how the younger, one of the books that influenced me the most was Johann Steinbeck, The Pearl. And it influenced me because it was the first time I realized that there was injustice on the world. There were the white men and then the others. John Sinclair is amazing the influence he had, all the way almost to the creation of the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, many years later. While he was doing a novel about talking about immigration, the heart of the novel was talking about how the meat industry was feeding America and seems in the process killing people and making many Americans sick. Amazing how an entire novel can have a huge influence. This is almost my challenge to you. What's the next novel that is going to be changing America or the world in a huge way by addressing an important issue? So we're going to have on public safety, a public safety research assignment. Paula?
Yeah, so looking at any recent safety debates, raw milk, E. coli, contamination, recalls of food, anything else that you can think of, and research the events surrounding that debate. And it has to be something from within the last 10 years. So that's another essay.
Food and national security. We have an admiral from Mission Readiness, and we have guest speaker Jonathan Schreier from the Department of State's Special Representative for Global Food Security. When I talk about food security, people, I don't mean that. Even maybe that's the beginning of it. A spider crawled through the security line. I'm not going to tell you which airport to don't get anybody in trouble. But that's my photo. And I have to be careful, I have a green card. So. But I only want you to think about this in two ways. Food security today is important in many ways. Mission Readiness is about a group of generals and admirals that are saying, if America is obese, we don't have young people to join the military. So we cannot protect America through our army. That's number one. Number two, you know that 60–70% of the fish that America eats today comes from overseas? And you're going to say, and so what? Well, that's important in many ways, because more food we import, the country can be in harm's way. No one will ever say that September 11 was about to happen until it happens. Before was kind of, but it did happen. You see this X? It's one company in America, and I have nothing against that company. It's called Cargill. I wish I owned that company. But Cargill, to me, that's something like, I don't know why we allow that. We don't allow software companies to have monopoly on certain programming. Why? Because it's not fair. So why do we allow one company to process all the eggs of McDonald's? Why? That's security issue. If one day something happens, you know how many Americans eat a burger, a McMuffin burger sandwich in the morning? I don't want to be scary. I only want to be thinking the unthinkable. But these are issues of national security. And we are talking that every day everyone says, we need to go bigger to feed the world. Bigger farms. Well, bigger farms. Bigger farms means less crops. Less crops means that if one day something happens, we may have the entire corn production of America wiped out because a disease we don't even know yet, or a plague. Maybe food security, national security, is to start making sure that we have smaller farms near the cities where people live. What happens when we have a snowstorm? What happens when we have a snowstorm? What's the first thing? It's always on every TV in Europe. Oh, take a look at these freaking Americans. They are all going to the supermarkets, and the supermarkets are empty of food. This is in the news in my country. And I have to be emailing and talking to the press. I'm like, come on, people, this is not the way you're portraying it. But the truth is that the supermarkets get empty because a snowstorm or because a hurricane. And where is the next food going to be coming from to refill those supermarkets? It's just food for thought. If we have food closer to where we are, it's not just a green way, it's just a great way to be safer in the future. National security assignment?
How does the insecurity or conflict worldwide influence or contribute to national security issues? I hope you notice that a lot of the assignments, we really want you to think about the world around you and how food plays a role in that. So you have to research current events and write an essay on your findings. So this is another essay. Again, all the details will be on Blackboard.
Hunger and obesity. I'm the perfect example of obesity. No, don't joke about it. I go talking about obesity on national TV, but I need to become an example. So today my weight was 261. A year and a half ago it was 278. I went down all the way to 238, but I went back up. It's no excuse that I'm surrounded by food. So obesity is a simple issue. We're going to have two great speakers. Ellen Gustafson, she's an amazing speaker, and Kim Robin from George Washington Faculty of Public Health. Here, a solar oven, hunger. What a solar oven has to do with hunger? It's kind of nuts. Okay, let me tell you. Forget the solar oven. We're talking about clean cook stoves. Clean cook stoves will be those stoves that will use no charcoal or no wood. Or improved cook stoves, those that will use less charcoal and less wood. If we give the poor people of the world clean or improved cook stoves, that means that they will use less quantity of wood and charcoal. So they will spend less money to buy charcoal or wood. That means that by having more money in their pocket, actually they can buy food to feed their children, or clothing to send them to school, or pay for their textbooks to send them also to study. So something like this can be a way to eliminate hunger in the world. Because by providing people with smart solutions to feed themselves, we're going to be saving them money in the long term that is going to give them the opportunity to use that money for something. In Haiti, one person spends 30 to 40% of their daily salaries on charcoal or wood. 30 to 40%. How much you spend? A fraction of a 1% sometimes. Just understand that. A woman in the process of feeding her children, that children, by the time he's 3 years old, he has chronic asthma. And that's reality, people. So solar kitchens and clean cook stoves are away today, and this is me in 10 years, or not. I think I'm gonna share with you my scale Wi-Fi that you'll be able to go to internet, and I promise you over the next 3-4 months, you're gonna see me going from 261 to way under 235. And we'll make it part of the class. You follow my way. Food habits.
Food habits, so you determine your current BMI, you do not have to hand that part in, but we do want you to be aware of it. And also determine the number of calories you need to maintain your current weight. Keep a food and drink journal for a day, and then review the calories from beverages, and is there a way to reduce this calorie intake? So it will involve some research around food intake.
Food and pop culture. That's the coolest thing. Food Network is pop culture, yes or no? Hello? Who knows about this? Great. Oishimbo. What do Oishimbo means?
Oishi means tasty in Japanese. Shoot, but I'm
No, but you're good enough. You know more than I forgot. Tasty ways, so tasty. So Oishimbo, people, you all gonna read this. After you read this, you don't want to eat Japanese cooking. You want to devour Japanese cooking. This is pop culture. How a manga, how a comic from Japan is able to tell us more about Japanese culture than any other way or museum. I learned so much about Japanese cooking reading this that I'm obsessed. That's the meaning of food culture. So we have two good people coming. We have a faculty member from George Washington, Clay Warren, from the Department of Communication. Thank you, Warren, for doing this. And Andrew Zimmerman. Who knows Andrew? People, you can bring him anything. He will not eat it. And I'm very happy he's coming. He's a good friend, great speaker. Can you put the video? We have 1 minute video to show you how food, and obviously here I'm doing things around who I am, because these are things I know best. I went to Haiti for the last 3 years. I've been there more than 10 times. I just came back from December, a 10-day trip. And you know what? I'm doing a lot of little things there. Hopefully many of you will come with me, and the university will be there in more ways than one. I know it's already there, but even more. But how an NGO, through food and pop culture, can help a country like Haiti. People in a country like Haiti, they don't want our pity. They want our help and respect. They want us to invest. Let me show you, after 3 rum sours, because that's the way it happened, how we said, let's do a TV show about the amazing food of Haiti. And that's the idea. In 2013, we're gonna showcase, we don't know yet in what TV station, if it's gonna be on the web or where, but I promise you that this university will be the first one to see it. A TV show to change completely the perception we have of a country. When I tell people about Haiti, everyone tell me, wow, I'm so sorry you're going there. And I'm like, why are you kidding? It's a fascinating country. Here, let me show you a 1 minute crazy idea of how to sell a country through food and tourism. Hi. My name is José Andrés. I came to Haiti 3 years ago, right after the earthquake. I fall in love with this country.
I will be stronger, they'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag.
It's a fascinating country with very unique people, great history, amazing food. I want to show you Haiti under a new window. Life is good in Haiti. Are you ready to join me? Let's go! Is one more class?
No, so but the assignment for this class is to look at food advertising and to see how you can influence through direct advertising or some more subtle means of advertising how food can be sold. And you have to include the reasons why you have to come to your conclusions about the different ads that you'll find.
And Food Crisis International 8 We'll have Michael Elliott, the CEO of One Campaign. The One is the organization by Mr. Bono, who's been a big spokesperson for many issues. We'll have a great George Washington faculty, Mr. John Forer from Public Policy and Administration. And guys, we have to go quick, but I only want you to think. Let me go back to Haiti again. We gave so much food away for free to Haiti that this is a country with 80% of their population live out of farms. So, if they come and we start giving a lot of food for free, what happened to those farmers? They go to the market, they cannot sell any food. That's okay the first week and the second week. It was a huge earthquake. But we kept giving, we kept giving so many tons of food that we put out so many thousands of small farmers out of business. So from now on, international aid has to be smarter. Giving is not enough. It's like investing in Wall Street. Before you invest, you think. We need to start thinking how we're giving aid, or we're going to be doing more damage than helping people. Almost a farm going broke. Yeah. This almost goes the same with what happened in Katrina. Do you remember Katrina? After Katrina, what happens after the hurricane in the Superdome? We had 50,000 Americans without food for 7-8 days. That was nuts. Nuts. We are terrible in giving post-earthquake, post-hurricane aid. Forget Haiti, even in our own country. We need to change that. The assignment 12
is, again, this is one other group project. You'll have to interview a member of a governance network, find out what issues are facing this organization and what are some of the potential solutions, and answer the question. In a governance network, you are set up not to care about yourselves, and is that possible? So that's, there are other questions as well on Blackboard. I encourage you to look at them, but this is to provoke some thought as well.
So, people of George Washington, that's what we're asking. Make a change through food. I only want you to be dreaming everything you can be changing through the power of food. Even if it's the life of one person next to you, like me, because you're going to help me hopefully stop being obese, or because you're going to be helping an entire continent like Africa to feed itself. We need to be thinking that if we are in this world, it's for a reason. We can be passive observants of what's happening in front of us, or we can be people that decide to say, I have to be part of the solution, and I'm going to do something about it. And food is an amazing mechanism to change society in ways we don't even know today. But I hope out of this class, we're going to have many of you going into the world in the years to come, having huge, huge potential of having big changes by sometimes simple ideas, trying to make them into a transforming situation of the lives of people through the power of food. Because that's going to be the final project.
Which is 50% of your grade. This group of 5 that you're going to form this week, you're going to come up with a plan to make a difference through food, and then you're going to put that plan into action. And you're going to document your plan and how you put it into action. And
I did something wrong. I hope you remember.
No, that's fine.
So here is the important thing. In the final project, we want something meaningful. We want something life-changing. We want something that you go back to your families or you leave your university saying, wow, this has been my biggest contribution, and I'm still so young. I know that now it's probably cooler to be doing cooking shows and bringing Andrew Zimmerman, but I do believe that what I see in front of me is all of you, that you should be, thanks to what George Washington is providing you, an agent of change in your communities here in America or overseas in faraway countries. But to understand through this class, hopefully, that food touches everything we are, and that through that power, even if you are not a chef, or even if you don't like to eat, and you only like popcorn, that you have in your fingertips the possibility of transforming this earth of ours in the earth we all dream, into this horizon that we all see, that we all know where it should be, but that sometimes we don't have the right leaders that help us get there. You need to become those leaders that you will bring with you armies of more young people that one day will change the way we are feeding this planet, the way we are feeding ourselves, and in this amazing, amazing trip, looking for that amazing horizon, really, really, really transforming the lives of so many. This is what I hope 13 weeks from now we will achieve together. To use food as an agent of change, one plate at a time. So thank you very much. Sorry, I went over time. Next classes will have answers and questions. I think I'm going to make myself available, few classes, and many other professors. Thank you, and let the power of food be with you.